Hello Aries, today we are going to do your November read. I'm sorry I'm getting this out already into the first week, which isn't really a good way to start, but just trying to get accustomed to this whole thing. I'm going to try from now on to actually have the videos up perhaps like a week prior. Maybe as we move into it we might get more, but for now it'll just be about once a week. And alright, so we're going to do a general reading for Aries. This is Sun, Moon, and Rising. What I'll do is I'll pull a few cards from the past energy that we are moving away from the past month, and where we're currently headed, where our energy is present, and where we should go and what our advice is. So first and foremost, I want to say that Aries, I think, are going through a rather, I don't want to say a difficult time. I think Aries are handling this time rather well. I think a lot of opportunities are arising for Aries. I do, however, believe that love is a bit confusing at the moment. Right now we're still up until November 16th. Venus is in retrograde, and it currently is moved back into Scorpio. And I don't feel that Aries really likes being in Scorpio so much, because Aries is a cardinal sign, and I don't think it feels very comfortable, especially being a cardinal fire sign, being in a fixed water sign. It's very intense, and I think it's a little too intense for what Aries likes to really be present in. So I believe that right now everything kind of seems like a lot, and I feel like we're doing a lot, like Aries are doing a lot for themselves right now. However, I feel that they're a little uncomfortable with what's going on around them. So I'm going to start pulling some cards. We'll start shuffling the deck. And yeah, I understand a little bit. I mean, as a water sign, I think I deal a little bit better with the Venus being in Scorpio. However, I also feel like it's a lot, and I kind of have to pull away. And I feel like a lot of Aries are kind of doing this right now. I feel like a lot of people doing this right now in general. But yeah, let's start seeing what's our energy is at November for Aries. Also, I'm really sorry for the camera quality, but I mean, for the time being, that's probably where we're going to be at until figure out something about maybe buying a new camera. But for now, I'm going to deal with what I got, so I apologize. That is what it is. Five of Cups. So I feel like right now, a lot of us are grieving over what we've lost. I feel like a lot of Aries right now are going through a time of despair and a time of change. 5 is, an uneven number. It's a masculine number. With the cups relating to your emotions or your feelings, I feel like we're feeling an imbalance. If you look in the imagery, we notice that he still has 2 cups. This is very similar to the Rider-Waite deck. So I feel like right now you're starting to feel like upset about all of what you've lost so far, but you're not really realizing what you still have. And I feel like you're actually kind of grieving the loss of parts of yourself, because I feel like you've cut out a lot of people and you're doing what you need to do to move towards your own better self, but I feel like you're stuck. I feel like you are still viewing what you've walked away from as something of a loss, when in actuality it's getting you a lot further in your life and in your path. Judgment. So I feel like a lot of your values are being questioned. Sorry. I feel like you feel judged by people around you. Maybe it's that they're judging you on not being able to really get over what you've been holding on to. I feel like you're being called towards something higher than yourself. I feel like the divine is guiding you at this point towards like where you need to go, both emotionally, spiritually, and just morally, where the lessons you need to learn from other people. And I feel like you're being guided in the right direction, but I feel like you're too worried about where you're actually going. You're too worried about this change being overwhelming, because Aries like change. They like it a lot, but they like them on their own terms, and I feel like a lot of things have been occurring to you that have been outside of really your grasp. Everything that's been occurring is kind of predestined, and you have had little to do with the outcomes. The High Priestess. The Nine of Pentacles, I'm sorry. And the Eight of Swords. So I feel like your intuition has been driving you forward, and you've been really listening to yourself, which is maybe different than how you've let yourself be, because Aries also have a tendency of letting other people, surprisingly, as this cardinal sign, they can let other people kind of drive them mentally in a way. They usually break free of this. However, their impulsive nature causes them to chase after this view, I think. So I feel like your intuition has been driving you towards the right things. I think a lot of us have just started making the money we wanted to make, or maybe we found ourselves in a place of prosperity in the way that our job is actually lining up with what we want to do, or what we feel comfortable making money with in our life. So for many of us, I think that we are finding our niche, and I feel like it's been very hard, because a lot of times what we are really supposed to go after and what it is society want us to do, they're very different. I'm sorry, I just dropped all your cards. But I feel like we're finally starting to feel at peace with the decisions that we're making. But with the Eight of Swords, I feel like we still are kind of trapped. Maybe this is because there's still people in our lives that we need to communicate with, or there are still parts of ourselves that need to be dealt with, and we feel like we physically can't move. Like, by acting on these needs or desires, we will put ourselves at risk. But I actually feel like assessing this Eight of Swords is what we need most, and is probably going to be the center point of this November reading. bottom of the deck is Temperance. I only want to point this out because right before I did the Aries video, I actually pulled this card, and sorry, is this better? Is this better? I actually pulled this card as like a general overview for what was going on for the Aries, and I just felt like you guys had a lot of balancing out to do between like what it is we intuitively want and what it is that, you know, is really going to benefit us, and like what it is other people want is really probably not right for us. And I feel like that's what Temperance is saying. Like, you need to balance out those views and kind of just make things right. Like, go from your spirituality to your, like, from your higher self to the person you have on the physical plane right now. I'm sorry, I'm like talking fast and I can't really articulate what I mean, so I'm hoping that you guys understand me, and if you don't, please just leave comments below and tell me that I need to like practice speaking in front of the camera. I'll understand. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of what we're going through right now. Sorry, pull some more cards. Ooh. 4 of Wands. For some of us, because this is a general read, we might actually be getting married. For others, we might find ourselves feeling prosperous and harmonious in our relationships. This is a card of union, so I feel like it's possible if dealing with a soulmate. I don't really see twin flame working right now, but I feel like many Aries at this time are going to find themselves working to a harmonious point with someone who is a soulmate. And soulmates, which I'll make a video at a later time, but soulmates, if you don't know, they don't have to be romantic relationships. They can be people within your soul tribe, people who you highly relate to and who you have a connection with, that are also there to aid in your progression in this lifetime as you are in theirs. So it is a mutual experience. And I feel like at this point in time, a situation with a soulmate is balancing out. Okay, so what else is happening for Aries in November 2018? What's happening for Aries? Ooh, that's too many cards. The Hierophant in reverse. So, the Hierophant in traditional tarot is representative of the Pope, actually, which is why it has a lot of authority backgrounds. The Hierophant is also relating to a Taurus, so for some of us, we could be having this soulmate connection with a Taurus at this point in time. I feel like things are unbalanced. I feel like normally this card is ruled by Venus and rules over practical matters and authority in earthly sense. However, I feel like things are not right. I feel like there's an over sense of someone's trying to take control, or you feel like someone has control over you. Perhaps you feel like this harmonious soulmate connection, by actually working that way, maybe it makes you feel as if you are they have too much control over you. It might be emotional, it might be within your own heads, or it might be that you desire for them to have more control over you in a romantic sense. And I only say that because I believe all wands have to do with your desires, so I feel like the two of them together could be that is what you're wanting. You want the opposite effect, but that's not how it is at this point in time. So yeah, I feel like, like I said, love is not really going so great for Aries right now, just because things are a little intense. I feel like a lot of other areas of Aries' lives are starting to make a little bit more sense and become more balanced, but hold on. The Three of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Wands. I feel like at this point in time, we are making up in one area of our relationship. So with one soulmate, I think we are balancing out a relationship that's been unbalanced for a little while. But I think in another sense, perhaps a more romantic sense, we are having a breakup, either real or, I don't want to say imaginary. I mean, either you are with this person and you are having an actual breakup with them, or that you are breaking emotional ties within yourself that you've been holding on to for a long time. And I feel like this is with a water sign, perhaps a more feminine water sign, someone that holds more of the feminine energy. And that's not to say that could be in relation that you are a woman with another woman, but it could also be that you are with dealing with a man who has more feminine qualities, because we all have both feminine and masculine, as well as positive and negative energies within us, and it's just whichever we identify with more. I personally know females that I am friends with that are the divine masculine in their twin flame relationship, and I know vice versa. And I know people who identify with the sex that they are born with, and I know people who identify more with one at other times than they do with another. So I just want to put that out there. But this doesn't mean that it is this way, but it could mean that you are dealing with someone. But I definitely think it's a person. I think there's a breakup or a break off of emotional ties with a water sign. Or a very emotional, feminine-like person. And I feel like this person's an artist. I feel like they give you a lot of inspiration, probably in your own art, as Aries are very artistic people, but I feel like there is a breakup occurring throughout this month. So maybe that Temperance card I was speaking of earlier is balancing out, the relationships that don't need to be there. Aries are pretty good at cutting people off. They really are. They're very impulsive. But I think they're very passionate at the same time. So I think it can become very hard for them because they can actually trick themselves into believing that they feel more passionately about something than they actually do. I think all humans have this talent, but I think Aries are particularly good at it. Oop. Star. So, a star in numerology, 17, but we don't do 17, we do 1 plus 7. And 8 is a very passionate, dark, secretive number that deals with either intense success or intense failure. 8 also relates to the 8th house, as we know in astrology, relating to Scorpio, the full moon that we are in, being very deep, passionate, intense, overbearing. And I feel like, but it's a very positive card at this one, because right before the star, we were just with the Tower. So after everything exploded, everything got better. So I feel like we're starting to find peace. After cutting this person off or cutting them out, I feel like we're finding peace within ourselves, within things around us. I feel like we are about to go into hyper manifestation mode. I think that things can go either way right now. They can go extremely well or extremely bad, and I think that's up to us and how the Aries at this time is going to actually keep their energy up. What are you going to do to balance out what is going on, and what are you going to do to make yourself feel at peace? Are you going to let everything affect you? Or are you going to use this time and your power to cut off what doesn't serve you? And I think we're going to let us serve us. Because I see the 10 of Cups. And all of the cups are all the colors of our chakras. And I feel like we are feeling balanced. I feel like we've been so unbalanced because we've been holding on for so long to people that don't deserve to be in our lives. I feel like we've been juggling double lives, pretending to be something we're not, pretending to do things that other people want us to do, pretending that it makes us happy. I feel like we're done. I feel like we're breaking that off. I feel like we're finally following our intuition, and we're doing what it is that drives us, and we're going where we need to go. But can we do it? Because it's very easy to say we can walk away from something. It's very easy to say we don't care. But how do we shut it off? How do we do it, Aries? We change. This could also be Scorpio time showing us. This could be the Scorpio new moon bringing in new information. But we change. We change what's been going on. Death also relates to the number 4, which is something stable. So I think that we are stabilizing ourselves. I think we're going to finally not let ourselves fall in line with what it is that we run after. I don't think we're going to be obsessive. I don't think that we're going to be overly passionate about people that don't serve us. I think that we're going to be the Aries that we are supposed to be. We are going to be cardinal. We are going to go after what we want. I think we're following our desires and our heart and our innate intuition, because you're the first. So more than anything else, I think you are the spark. I read in book, I think it was Stars of Our Soul. I'll come back to it, but it talks about Aries being the heart. Aries is the spark in your heart that drives you forward. And I think that you're finally listening to that. You're finding yourself. I think a lot of good things are coming. I think we just are going to feel a little bit of sadness. But I think it's for the best. I think once we deal with that, everything else around us signifies great positive change. And I think, okay, again, we're moving forward. We are moving on, looking towards our future. Moving towards our creative desires. Just 3 is the number of creativity. And I think we're finding peace within ourselves. He is alone. So I think great things are coming. And I think their relationship and that unity that we desire is coming. The bottom of the deck. So overall, I think if we move on from the grief in the past and we cut out this person who no longer deserves to be in our life, if we stop juggling the perception everyone else has for us and what we actually are, and we make the necessary change that we've been trying to make for probably the past year, we will find a very positive change at the end of this. So overall, I think a very good month is coming, and I think a balanced union will come into play. So I hope you enjoyed my reading, and feel free to like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll have a better camera by next month, and I'm sorry for the late read, but thank you for watching.